First time meeting. My name is Lolita Perry, but my friends call me Lola, so y'all call me Lola. And I am a gardener. I'm a crafter. Um, I'm an amazing wife. Oh yes, oh yes. um, I am a mother of five children, three that I gave birth to, two that I have bonus babies, and I have five grandbabies. Can you believe it? Five grandbabies. My kids gave me five grandbabies at this point. So welcome to my world. So over here in my world, one of the things I do is gardening. So, and I do it in a container gardening space, right? So the question is, after you get this harvest and you get this abundance of of tomatoes, peppers, and herbs, what do you do with it so that it doesn't go to waste? Or how do you keep it? How do you preserve it? So I wanted to show you all how I preserve my herbs over a long period of time and how easy it is. I'm going to give you three methods to show you how easy it is to keep your herbs over for years to come, unless you're greedy like me, okay? And you use your seasoning a whole lot, okay? You use your herbs a whole lot. Hey, Sean, how are you doing this evening? So let me dive into it and show you exactly the three methods that it takes to dry and how I preserve my herbs. Can I just show you some? Um, so this is the lavender I use. I don't know if you all saw me use it in my tea the other day, but this is fresh lavender, dehydrated lavender. See that? I'm trying to make sure you see it. There we go. There we go. That's lavender. Yes. Hey, Dad. Okay. Now we're gonna have to figure out something because the Lola is gonna make a mess. Hold on. I'm trying not to be a messy Marvin. I can definitely be a messy Marvin. I probably should have funneled that. Okay, so that's some lavender that's dehydrated. This lavender, you know, you can grow this right in your garden, and my God, it smells amazing. It's like I made an essential oil. Well, not an essential oil. I made a lavender oil from my dehydrated lavender, and I literally put it on my feet this morning so they wasn't so ashy. Here's dandelion. You know those things we call an herb. I mean a weed that we like, the yellow flower. So with the dandelion, not only do you dehydrate the flower, not only do you dehydrate the flower, but also the the roots of the dandelion are amazing. They have really good healing components as well. So not only do you want to dehydrate your leaves, your petals of those dandelions, you also want to dehydrate the roots with it as well. When you get ready to harvest, you just got to shake off that dirt. This is my chamomile. Y'all, if y'all know how to flip the screen around, let me know so that things don't look backwards. Okay. These are dehydrated chamomile. These are the flowers, the little bulbs. Ah, yes. Chamomile is one of my favorite, and it smells amazing. I wish I could be in here like, scratch and sniff this, baby. Scratch and sniff this because it smells amazing. Up in here, it smells amazing. It's like, girl, you need to make a tea right after this, and I think I will, because it's going to be calm down time, except for the fact I got to, clean the steps. The life of a homemaker is never done. Okay, so let's talk about these three methods. Okay, so let me welcome some of you all in. Z-Man, I see you. Thank you for coming. So I see some couches sitting up there. I just want to say, hey, how you doing? Come on in. Sit for a spell. I'm going to show you how you dehydrate your herbs using three easy methods. So come on in. Hey, Cynthia D. Hey, Cynthia D. I got to be careful of the Mr. and Mrs. I know we're in a time where that can be offensive. So if I've offended anybody, I do apologize. I will work on it, especially if you bring it to my attention. All right. Hey, Shirley. I am going to show you all how to dehydrate your herbs using three methods. And the good thing about this is you get to choose what works for you. Just in case I get a little nervous, I got some notes. Okay. okay? Because I might skip something. I might get a little nervous, and I might need to. I took some notes and refer over here just to keep me on track. All right. So if you see me look over there, that's why. All right. So the reason you want to dehydrate your herbs is because sometimes you can harvest all of them at one time and you're not ready to use them, right? And you want to use them at a later time. You want to use them in your winter stews. You want to use them to make oils. You want to use them to make your teas. Well, this is the way that you can do it. Let's go with step number one. The one our ancestors used, the ones Meemaw and them use. Excuse me. Hold on. The one that you see on Little House in the Prairie. Yes, I grew up watching Little House in the Prairie, and I may be telling my age, but that's okay too. Yes, yes, yes. Little House on the Prairie, honey. Yes. So when you used to see them hanging up their herbs in the kitchen or over the fireplace, or over the kitchen window, that's the first way. The first way of dehydrating your herbs is using the air dry method. Okay, the good thing, or one of the pros about the air dry method, is it's of little to low cost. You simply need some string and you need to tie them up and hang them in a cool, dark place. They shouldn't be hung out in direct sunlight. They shouldn't be hung out where the cat can get to it. Okay, we don't want muffins to get to it. Okay, keep muffins away from it, especially if you're drying some catnip. Keep muffins away. Okay. So y'all come in and say hello and tell me where you're from. My name is Lola. I live in Washington, D.C., which is zone 7. And I'm going to show you how to dehydrate these herbs. The first way is to air dry them. Let me show you how simple it is. So this is my favorite herb right here. This is rosemary. This is rosemary. So after you clip your rosemary down to the root. Oh, Norwood, North Carolina. Wait a minute, Massachusetts in the house. Massachusetts, hey Massachusetts. Hey, Cass from Norwood. Are y'all growing y'all herbs? Are y'all growing y'all herbs? Y'all herbs? Okay. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Los Angeles. You all the way over there. You don't know where I'm pointing, do you? I don't either. But so if I'm in DC, you way west, like you West Coast and I'm East Coast. Welcome. Texas is hot. I heard it's hot in Texas, and I'm so sorry. I wish good air conditioning in your environment. Please, Ohio. My daughter graduated flight attendant school in Ohio. Hey, growing so many herbs. Oh, good. I'm glad you're growing so many. I'm going to show you what to do. I'm going to show you the cheat sheet. So here's the first method, is the air dry. So after you harvest your herbs, whatever herb it's going to be, I want you to make sure that they're nice and gathered. This is for air dry. You don't want to do a large amount because you want air. You want it to get a nice, hey, come back here. Didn't nobody ask you to jump down here? You want to get a nice, even dry. So if they're all bunched together, it takes longer. Think about your laundry. If it's all clumped together, it's going to take a longer time to dry. The point of the air drying is so that the air can get in there. And this is going to smell so good. You're going to walk into your kitchen. You're going to open up your closet door wherever you hang it. You're going to walk into your basement area, and that smell is going to hit you because it's drying and it smells so good and it smells so fresh and it smells so yummy. And I thought the other herb on the tray was rosemary. Yes, this is rosemary. You're absolutely right. That's rosemary. That's rosemary. You're absolutely right. You know your herbs. You know your herbs. You know your herbs, Curl. So after you gather several of your herbs together, you want to clear off this stem, okay? I don't always do that, okay? Because sometimes I can be a lazy gardener, okay? So let me show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean, okay? Sometimes Lola can be a lazy gardener. Hey, if this is your first time joining me, I'm Lola. I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm a container gardener, and I am showing you how to dehydrate your herbs. Yes, basil. You can do, basil is not on this tray, just yet, but you can absolutely dehydrate your basil. Yes. So I didn't clear my stems because sometimes I can be a lazy gardener, but sometimes do as I say, not as I do. That's a bad example, right? Don't nobody like that, but that's what had happened with my thyme over there. I was rushing and I had to get it. But yes, Chas, you can do this with basil too. But this is oregano. This is oregano. This is one of my favorite herbs. I can use this in everything. So when you air dry, you want to make sure you get that stem clear, right? Because now, oh, heaven to Murgatroyd. Hold on. That's one of my favorite sayings is, instead of saying, oh no, it's heavens to Murgatroyd. Welcome to my craft room as well, y'all. This is my craft room. I do all things craft related in here. So you got your bundle together, and now you just need some twine. That's all you need is some twine. Okay, we're just gonna get some twine, and we're gonna tie it in a little knot, right? Get a little knot. Now remember, don't make your bundles too big, because you want the air to get in there, and you don't want anything to. I heard somebody say that they can mold, but I've never seen mold on any of my herbs, probably because I keep it shallow. So here we go. So we got our herbs right here. Baby, I love me some mint. Where's my mint? I don't even have mint. I don't even have mint out here today. But mint is one of my favorites. Hey guys, thank you so much for liking while we are sitting here, and I'm showing you I appreciate you. So the stem leaves room for you to tie it up. Now, let me do another one. So I've already cleared. Let me do my rosemary. So sit right here, Beth Ann. Oh, you're not rosemary. So this is rosemary. And again, so you're going to clear off the ends so that you can make room to tie it. Or you can be like Lola and be a lazy gardener, right? And not, but this is best practices. I'm going to teach you best practices, okay? Now, if you decide to cut up, then you go ahead and cut up. All right. So I'm going to put these, going to clear the stem, right? Clearing the stem. Yes, I do make so to answer your Carol, for the mint, I do make a tea. That's my primary function for the mint. I do make teas with it. The stem has been cleared just enough, and now I'm going to tie it up. This is the air dry method. This is method number 1. This is, I don't have a dehydrator system. This is, I don't have a whole lot of space. I don't have a whole lot of time to watch it dry in the oven. But I do have an abundance of herbs, and I want to preserve them. So I got my rosemary. I've got my herbs. How long did that take? No time. So you get your herbs, you cut them, you clean them, let them air dry, towel dry them, paper towel dry them out, let them sit, clear the stem of any of the leaves, tie it, and then we're going to take this and we're going to hang it in typically a cool, dark place, like in the pantry. Y'all, don't judge me. I don't have a lot of space, okay? So we got to make it happen, right? I literally hang them on the knobs. Sometimes in the kitchen, they hang on the knobs of the cabinet because I don't have a lot of space, okay? So we got to make it happen. Yes, we're going to wash it first. We're going to wash it first. And then you're going to, I also hang these in the pantry, in my closet. I have them in a small closet. And again, this is going to smell amazing. So this is the air dry method. This is going to take, depending on how bunchy they are, depending on how well you dried them, okay? This can take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to dry. And of course, after they dry, I'm going to show you what you do with them, because they're going to be nice and crunchy if you keep them in a cool, dry place. Don't let them get no sun and no light. Now, remember the little pieces that I just took off? We're not going to waste those, are we? No, we're not. No, we're not. Well, we're going to take here, right? We're going to take these loose herbs, right? We're going to take these loose herbs that we just peeled. We're either going to use them in something we have coming up soon, in anything that we're cooking, or are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? I made you hangry. What you're going to do is get you some of your favorite carrier oil. I love avocado oil. You can do coconut oil, or you can do what is it? Olive oil, and put them in a tray, and like an ice tray. Put your little herbs in there, freeze them, pop them out, put them in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer. And then when you get ready to make a stir fry or something that you need oil and fragrant herbs with in your pot roast, and your oven made chicken, when you make the crock pot, bam, drop it on in there. Hold on, who is Mother Psycho Superior? Oh, you was tagging her, telling her, come on. You was tagging her, telling her, come on. I use a hanger. I like that idea. Thank you. I love when the community shares. That way we all win. Okay, let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yes, I do wash them. Where do I get my seeds? So if I don't use my seeds from the plants that I already have, if I don't harvest them, I get them from sometimes the big orange place, the big blue place, and Baker Seed. I just got some, this is the company, Baker Seed. Hold on, Baker Seed Creek. I love them. That's where I got my stevia from. That was another big question. So you hang these to dry, and in 1 or 2 weeks, they'll be ready for you to add into your mason jar or your spice jar, depending on what you're ready for. So we got step number 1. Okay, let's go on over to step number 2. Libraries have seeds. I like that. You know what? Just because you told me that, I'm going to have to check and see if my local library has some. I've never heard that. My local library, they've been holding out with the seeds, the good seeds. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to find out. Thank you for sharing that, Barbara. So method number 2. So we got method number 1. We are going to air dry and tie them up. Get your twine from the Dollar Tree. Okay, Dollar Tree, a whole bunch. Hey, California. Welcome. So we got our first set. Now the second set is in the oven. So this is rosemary, my favorite. So rosemary, you're going to take any old baking sheet. This is just so happened to be set aside for my herbs. Any old baking sheet. Some people take the leaves off. I choose not to take the leaves off. A lot of times when I grind down my herbs into a powder, I use the stem. I still use the stem. There's fragrant inside of the stem, and it's just still comes out as a beautiful aroma. Yes, you can take all of your leaves off if you want to. Absolutely. You can take every one of those leaves off, put it flat on the tray. Yeah, absolutely. You can, but I just choose not to. I shortcut it. Okay, and then I put it on the tray, and I'm going to put it in the middle of the oven, right? And then I'm going to turn it no higher than, I'm either going to do like 130, 140, and I'm going to crack the stove. I know it's not very energy efficient, right? But you crack the stove to let the moisture out, and you want to check it frequently to make sure that your leaves don't burn. If your leaves burn, that leaves a different taste. You know, roasted rosemary is different than dried rosemary. So be careful to watch to make sure that they don't burn. No need to flip them. We're not flipping them. My rosemary is getting super woody. Can I still harvest and dry? Absolutely you can. And I'll say this. Taste your rosemary. Make sure you still like it. Make sure it still tastes good to you. And when you do your rosemary, you don't have to keep the stem. You can just use the leaves. If it still tastes good to you, then go ahead and dehydrate. I would hate for you to go through the effort and it doesn't taste good. If you can find another way to use it, like medicinally, or if you wanted to make some rosemary oil and you still see a benefit in it that way, then absolutely go ahead and use it. I really want to make a DIY. You're my kind of person. You want to make a DIY sun dehydrator? Who says that? Only people in my world. You know, if I said that to my mama, my sister, my friends, my homegirls, they'd be like, you want to do what? You my peoples. A DIY sun dehydrator. Yes. And so the way I make my oil is I do the long process. I put it in the cooker, in the crock pot, the pot. And I let it, cook slowly for 2 days, right? Let it steep in there really good. I don't have exact measurements, so I can't give you the exact measurements. But after 2 days of warming and the house smelling amazing, strain it through some cheesecloth, put it right on in an oil bottle, and you have some beautiful, fragrant rosemary oil or oregano oil or lavender oil. You just got to let it simmer for a bit. Get all those oils and juices out of there. Well, not juices, all the oils out of there. So this is a second method, right? We're going to put our leaves, we're going to put our herbs on a baking sheet with some parchment paper, just so it doesn't, get burned to a crisp down here. And in no less, maybe an hour or two, this is done. An hour or two, crack that oven. An hour or two, it is done. All right, and let me just show you again. I have the stem on here. This is how I used to put it into the jar. Right now, I just do. Sometimes I do this method to break it up, and it's left on the paper. So it's a real easy, because with the parchment paper there, it makes it much easier to crumble. All right, so this is all you do once it's dry, because I leave the stem on there. It just allows me to get the herbs off. I don't know why I'm squinting, because the powder is coming back towards me, baby. And this is how you dry your herbs. Oven dried. Now, same way I'm crinkling this up now and moving the stem to the back. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna do with these stems, because I'm not throwing them away. We don't waste anything around here. You don't waste anything, okay? We reuse everything. It would be a waste for me to throw any of this into the trash. Hey, Alma. So, same thing with the air dry. Once these air dry, just go ahead and crinkle them up and get ready to put them into your mason jar and save it for later. All right. So that is the second way. So behind me is a dehydrator. All right. So in the dehydrator, this is a Cabela 12 tray dehydrator. I want to say this costs me some maybe 5 years ago, maybe $200 from Cabela. It has 12 trays. In here right now, this is not a herb, but it is some orange peels. I dehydrate the orange peels. These go great in your tea, or if you have to, like, if you're making a cake and it requires some orange zest or lemon zest, you can make sure you just clean those peels really good. This is extra. This is not herbs. This is extra. Hey, user 7703 Becky. You can just shred that up on a what do you call that thing? I done lost my word. You shred it up, you zest it into your cakes or anything that calls for orange zest or lemon zest. You can use that. Isn't that amazing? So dehydrating your herbs, just remember, once again, when you lay them out, you want to make sure this is rosemary. This is your rosemary, nice and dehydrated. Rosemary. So remember, when you lay it out, you want to make sure that they're not overlapping. You want to make sure they're not like this, like you don't want them on top of each other when you're trying, because it's not going to dehydrate evenly. So you want to make sure you have them spaced out good on the tray so that they can dehydrate nice and evenly. The good thing about the dehydrator is you're less likely to burn it. You don't have to watch it like you would in the oven. Sorry, just got here. Can't stay though. Oh, thank you so much, Glow. We'll catch you on the next go round, and I'll make sure I do some clips to highlight the importance of 1, 2, and 3 methods. Okay, so just make sure you come back. Make sure you're following and you come back so you can see the video when I post it. So much better buying. So much better than buying from the store. I agree. And this is part of the reason why I started growing, is because I knew exactly what was in my food, right? Who had touched my food, and how long it had been on the shelf, right? So I know there's no pesticide in my food because I didn't put it in there, right? Right. I control the soil. I control the water. I know whose hands have touched it. I know who has breathed on it. Okay. All right. And I know exactly how long it's been on the shelf because I date those materials, right? So this is rosemary. This rosemary, I'm actually going to make the the rosemary oil that I told you about earlier. And when I'm done doing the boiling process, just for aesthetics, okay, I'm going to take the rosemary and drop it down in the bottle just so it can be pretty. And we can all know when they come into the kitchen, oh, Ma, you made rosemary oil. And I did. Straight from the garden. I've never done freeze drying of the herbs. I've only heard great things about it. I've never heard anything contrary. It does look awesome. The equipment, however, can be expensive from what I've heard, but I don't have any personal experience to say yay or nay about it. So Barbara, here's a tricky question. You know that we keep our herbs in the cabinet for, like, it's the going joke, like forever and ever, right? I say your herbs are as good as they smell. You know, when they lose that fragrance and that potency. I've never had an herb that I've grown in my kitchen that long, but once that aroma leaves it and you can't get it back from grinding it down, I would say, you know, it's pretty much had its time. But typically, if you keep it inside of a mason jar, the estimated time for dried herbs is 18 months. That's the recommendation. But you know, sometimes we keep them in there longer, right? I love that you use rosemary oil for your hair. Does it help it grow? Does it help it get thickened? Or is it like a treatment for your scalp? Like, what are the benefits of using rosemary in your hair? Because I've only ever used it in my food. I've only used rosemary oil in my food, or when I'm not feeling well, I take a couple of drops of the rosemary and the oregano and put it under my tongue if I have like a cold or something like that, and it seems to help with that as well. Hey, I'm so glad, Callison. I'm so glad. So your rosemary is now done, and the same process happens all over again. You know that your herbs are dry, right? All right. And the only thing you have to do at this point is, your herbs are dry. You just wanna, baby, and that's it. So here's the thing. Remember I told you we are keeping our stems. You know what I'm gonna do with this stem? I'm gonna take this, gather all of my stems, except for like the stevia, all of my herbal stems. I'm not gonna use my stevia for it. Rosemary oil for inflammation and anti-itch. I love that. I get thinning hair by my temple, and I have baby hair. You better go ahead and rock your baby hairs. That's what I'm saying. Mother Earth is giving us what we need, okay? I love it that Earth is giving us what we need in its natural properties. And you, is this that you're growing? Are you growing this, or are you buying your rosemary oil? Now I'm going to dry some up and have so much roll. That's right. So you can use one of three methods. Tell me which method appeals to you more. Does the pro behind method number 3 is the Cabela or a dehydrating system. It's going to dehydrate your leaves nice and even as long as you space them out, right? Space them out good. You don't necessarily have to watch it like you would in the oven. And it's going to be done in 1 to 2 hours. And then you can put them nice and neatly into the tray. So out of the 3 methods that I shared, right? So you can air dry it, right? You can do it in the oven, 130, no more than 140 degrees. Crack your oven. Middle of the oven, parchment paper and baking sheet, right? 1 to 2 hours. Just watch them. Different herbs, they may, some on the outside might dry faster than the ones on the inside. Just watch it so you don't burn your leaves. And then 3, you have the dehydrator, 12 trays. I can put 12 trays in this dehydrator and dehydrate 12 trays of herbs at one time. Whereas the oven, I may not be able to do as many, and I don't have to watch it as much. So those are the 3 ways. So tonight I'm showing you how I dehydrated my herbs in the 3 methods that you can use. You can do the air drying method, you can do in the oven method, or you can use a dehydrator. Now, after you've dehydrated your herbs and they are nice and crunchy, let me see if y'all can hear that crunching. over my air conditioning. Okay, let's see. Cause y'all hear that crunch? It's crunchy. So on this tray, all of this is my favorite. This is oregano. This is oregano. This is rosemary. And this is, hold on. And this is some thyme. Okay? So, did you all tell me which method appealed to you? I only air dry, but I like that I can get along with my days. Yeah. Just tie them up in a bunch. What you say? Tie them up in a bunch. Tie your herbs up in a bunch. Hang them up in a cool, dark place and let them go. 1 or 2 weeks, you're done. They're nice and crunchy, right? They're nice and dry. Nothing is soft. They shouldn't be soft when you put them in the jar. If you put them in a jar and there's still moisture in there, you're going to have a problem with your herbs. So make sure that you dry them really good. Hey, thank you. I love it. So the fact that you said that you're inspiring me to start my healing medicine garden up now. So this is, I learned how to dehydrate my herbs back in during the pandemic. The pandemic was very stressful for me. I watched way too much news. I watched those numbers and it just took me off of my game. I had trouble sleeping, I had trouble staying awake. Don't ask me. I had trouble focusing and I was just an emotional wreck. So I heard somebody talking about herbs having these healing components. I was already gardening, right? Because I've been gardening now. This is year 13 for me. So people started talking about the healing components behind herbs, and I heard somebody say they had a healing tea garden. I was like, well, wait, I grow mint. Let me get me some mint. And so I started just researching and Googling the mess out of herbs that would help my temperament at the time, because I had a lot of sadness. And let me show you the herbs that I stumbled upon. The first one was lavender. Let me show you the lavender. Come on now, show the people yourself. Show the people. So this is lavender. Now you know lavender. I can't tell you all of the components that every one of these herbs have, or all herbs have, but what lavender was had a very calming effect on me. Like, it's just relaxing. I made some lavender oil, and kind of like, it's not the same as an essential oil. I made some lavender oil and I would rub it on my hands, and I would just, with the lavender, I would just breathe it in, take some deep breaths, and it was very calming. And I need smell-o-vision. Smell-o-vision. I know, and it was just so calming and it was relaxing. So when I cut the news off, right, it was calming and relaxing. Thank y'all so much for hearting and getting me on the FYP page. I appreciate you. The other one was chamomile. I wish that I knew how to flip the screen. Next time I'm gonna figure out how to flip the screen so all the writing is in the right way, because I'm like in my craft room and y'all can't read anything. Chamomile. Now this is just the flower, mostly the flower tops. Chamomile. I love drinking this in a tea at night, and my God, it smells so amazing. So remember how I told you that your herbs are designed to be, they can stay like for, the standard answer is 18 months. Is how long it can stay fresh or viable. This is this summer is year 3. Yeah, this summer is year 3 of the chamomile, and it still smells amazing. So I have my lavender, my chamomile, and let me show you the other one. And all these herbs, are grown in your garden, right? Oh, the flip screen is a filter. I'm gonna find it. Thank you, Deej. I'm gonna find it. And then, oh wait, I'm missing one. Oh, it's over there. It's over there. I'm gonna get it. So this is dandelion. Dandelion wasn't so much relaxing for me. Someone just told me that it was good to have. So you know those little dandelions that we call weeds, and it's supposed to help with inflammation for me. And I did end up getting sick during the pandemic. Who knew? Who knew? Look at God. I ended up getting sick, needing to have surgery. And inflammation was one of the issues that I had. And being able to work from home is the look at God. Because in 2019, when it happened, when they sent us home in 20, right? I had to, my surgery is postponed, and I had to wait. So the dandelion helped with some of the inflammation that I was experiencing before my surgery. A friend told me to try it, and I did, and it just worked out amazing in my tea. But this was the other mood stabilizer. Do y'all know anything about St. John's worts? These are all flowers. These are all flowers. These are all flowers. In the dandelion, that is the leaf and the root. So when you dehydrate the dandelion, you want to pull up that root, clean off that root, okay? And you're going to put it in the dehydrator or air dryer, however you choose to do it. Just know that when you dehydrate air, it may, depending on how thick those stems are, it may take a little bit longer. So when you do the dehydrate or dry your dandelion root, air dry your dandelion root, cut off that root from the rest of the air drying and let those roots dry separately, okay? Because it may take them a little longer. My God, your girl is hot. My goodness, hold on. We ain't got no filters on today. Y'all want to see all the shine. Hold on one second. Okay. I don't have makeup. Come touch a girl up. Okay. I don't have anybody to help me. So when you do dehydrate your dandelion, do the leaf, do the stem, and do the root. All of it. There's the greatest component of the dandelion is going to be in the root, and the same thing with echinacea. Echinacea, get that root, okay? Make sure you get that root. Do you use no, I've never used mimosa. I want to say, hold on, there might be a mimosa mint. I've tried a mimosa mint, and I wouldn't know it separately because I grow all of my mint together, dry all of my mint together, and make it into one great big bundle of tea when I'm done with it. Yes, I have never, and I want to. Sustainability is my new path. I love Oh, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, I'm saving all my dandelion flowers when they go to seed so I can have more. That's important too, because you want to keep free dandelions going. That way you don't have to go to the store and buy them. Okay, that's not what we want to do. We want to keep them. One of the green screens, I'm gonna look for it. Thank you so much for helping. I'm gonna find it. The fluffy pink flower from the mimosa tree. No, I've never done that one before. It sounds pretty and it sounds amazing. I've never done that one. Do you have a recipe for, listen, let me tell you something, for hormone imbalance? Amy, let me tell you something. That's actually my post for tomorrow. I was going to actually ask people that question: what natural remedy, what natural foods do they have that will help with hormone balance, because I found myself being a little challenged. So do you have one that you want to share? I'm open. Please tell. Drop the tea, literally. Like, drop the tea. Okay. Oh, did I show you St. John's wort? Okay, so St. John's worts. St. John's worts. I do this in a tea, but this was prescribed, suggested to me by a therapist many moons ago. St. John's wort, this is something that we can grow right here at home in our gardens, right? It is a flower. It comes in the form of a flower, pretty flower. And this is a mood stabilizer, okay? Anxiety, depression, moodiness, okay? This is great for the calming. Now let me be clear about all of this, okay? Do not think that you'll drink a cup of St. John's worts and you can calm down immediately. It may not work that way. It may, like any other thing, it'll take a little time to get in your system to build up, okay? So I thought the same thing. I thought I was going to drink this amazing tea, right? this St. John's wort, because I didn't want to take any kind of medication for depression or anxiety, right? Trying to avoid all of the pharmaceuticals as much as I can, right? And this was suggested. But when you're think about this, when you're bound, right? When you're bound up, you're locked up, right? Things take time. These things didn't just happen to us at one time, and sometimes we gotta get these herbs in our body to help us reset, and that's what these three did for me over time. Then once it was like good and in my system, it's not like that emergency, oh, I'm tired, let me go grab a cup of coffee, it's going to make everything right. That works with coffee, may not work that way with the tea. So I don't want you to get some or run to the store and do some St. John's worts and think, oh, okay, I'm going to drink this in my life, I'm going to calm down. No. It may take a little time, okay? So let's be fair with ourselves, and fair to our emotions and our expectations. So no, it may not. The St. John's wort, I can put into a capsule and take like maybe 3 of these a day. That's what I found myself doing in the midst of the pandemic and the height of all of the anxiety that I had bottled up into my body, because I was a mess. I was an emotional mess and I needed some help. But if I do have a stressful day, lavender, chamomile, and St. John's wort are my go-to for a calming. Now the lavender and the chamomile, definitely relaxing. I'm not talking like gummy relaxing, but definitely relaxing. It's great for the nighttime on the bed. You know, while you're in the bed, you might be with a book, or you might have a stressful day, a lot going on with the kids, the job, the spouse, the parent, the finances, the friends, everything. You need a little something to calm you down. I know some people go to the wine, right? I go for the chamomile. I go for the lavender. Okay, that's what we do. Have you come across anything for diabetic neuropathy in the feet? I have not. And the only reason I haven't is because it wasn't a concern for me. So I never searched it. I only searched for those things that I was dealing with at the time. And these were the 4 knockouts for me. I apologize. I couldn't help with that one. Would love to know what you use on your skin. Your skin is gorgeous. Baby, I'm sweating because I'm in menopause. Shot because I don't have a filter on, but I'm sweating. The glow is the sweat, my friend. I'm just kidding. But the only thing I use on my face is a little Neutrogena scrub and some Neutrogena lotion with a little SPF 15, because they said I need it at my age going out into the sun. She said, what? Wait a minute. My youngest child is over 30, but I thank you. Bitter melon is good for diabetic, and moringa tea. I like moringa tea. Do you drink those 3 together? Absolutely. Absolutely. I do drink these 3 together. Absolutely. Yep. Especially, so ladies, let me talk to you for a moment. Okay. All right. You know, when the it's getting ready to come on, right? Come upon you, right? And you know when you might be feeling a little off, right? Okay. And sometimes, just as you know, you just know when there's a shift in you, right? So when I notice that, or I see that coming, I'll tap into these 3. Yeah, start nightly. I'll just start tapping into these 3 at night before I go to bed. Sometimes I opt, instead of coffee, to tap into these 3. So yes, all 3 of them together, depending on how strong I want it, is really up to me in terms of flavor. So typically I'll put like a teaspoon into a bag, or I'll just make a whole carafe in the teapot, excuse me, together. So yeah, I absolutely will. Child, I'm a mess, Nerissa, I'm a mess. But yes, I do drink all 3 of those together. So you have your 3 methods, right? You all saw how easy that was, right? And now, when you get your herbs, all you do is, come on, y'all showstoppers, y'all had y'all moment going over there. Now, let me just go ahead and crunch up these with you. Oh, I tell y'all? I did tell y'all what I do with the woody stem. So after I dehydrate or get all of my leaves off of the stem, right? Or as much of the leaves as I want. I'm going to take these and put these into a Ziploc bag, and then when I get ready to make a bone broth, I'm going to put all of these in there because we don't waste anything around here. Okay, we don't waste any food. So I'm gonna take all of my stems, the little bits of the rosemary that are left on the stem, and I'm gonna put them in a crock pot. So when I get ready to make bone broth or veggie broth or a stew perhaps, then I can go ahead and use all of my stems that I have here, which is why, I opted not to take them off of the stem when I dry it. Yes, you can take every last one of these leaves and lay it out on a tray. You can. You absolutely can. I just opted not to because sometimes, y'all, I can be lazy, and it was just easier for me. You can lay them all out on this tray and be done with it, and just have to just crunch one way or another. The stem has to come out, right? It does need to come out, or will come out. Some of these stems are going to get used right in. Oh, I should have brought y'all an example. Y'all want me to go get the magic bullet and crush these up for you so you can see what it looks like crushed up? Oh my gosh, it's gonna smell so amazing. If y'all say yes, I'm gonna go get the magic bullet, and I'm going to crush this up and put it into a spice jar. But I'm telling you, the good thing about dehydrating your herbs is that you dehydrate them. That crunch is just so amazing. It smells so good in here, y'all. I'm not trying to tell you. It just made me want to go get a steak tonight. But I've been drying out my herbs in my air dryer. Hey, I did learn that you can air dryers, and technology is just coming so far, y'all. I wasn't ready. And you know how when things are new, you look at it like real suspicious. You're like, I don't know about that. I like the old way. The old way works just fine. But I like new technology and the different things that they provide for us, especially if it's going to make your life easy and save you time. You already have the air fryer. You're already cooking up your salmon, the kids' nuggets and french fries. You might as well go ahead and dehydrate your herbs in there too, right? I do love that. I have not done that method though. I think like any of the methods I've shown you in terms of cooking with heat and using heat, is just to make sure that we don't overcook it, and you don't burn your herbs, because that's not gonna taste good. It's not gonna. I started doing it with my dehydrator book. That is so smart. That is so smart. Hey, wait a minute. Barbara, we just said the same thing. That is so smart. Like, why not? Like, just save your time. I like that. And it's one less equipment that you have to buy. Now, I have the 12 tray dehydrator behind me because I use it for so many other things as well. I don't just dehydrate my herbs. In the dehydrator, which is a Cabela 12 tray, I dehydrate apples and pineapples, all of the fruit, especially for the grandkids, oranges, lemons. We do jerky, all different types of things on the dehydrator. So I had it for more than just one purpose, right? So it just made sense to get a 12 tray, because when you're dehydrating jerky, I'm not hanging jerky. You can dehydrate jerky, but I'm not hanging no daggone jerky. You can get okra clean and put them in a jar, add water, let it sit for wait a minute, what we doing over here? It's because it has a really low setting. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hold on, I just want to make sure I didn't miss something. Hold on. I want Olivo. It infuses oils. Oh, I didn't know. I think I have seen it. I think I have seen Olivo, but I've never done it. 130 degrees. Just when I put it into the oven, I do 130 degrees. And I crack the oven so it's not closed, okay? And then I have to wash it. That way it is a method. It's just a little panicky for me because I tend to walk away and get distracted very easily because it's a lot of things to do, right? But that's one of the cons to it. Do you recommend any herbs for lowering blood pressure? I've never done a study I'm not an herbologist per se. I would love to know more about them for this very reason. I think y'all voted yes. Y'all want me to get the bullet and go ahead and put this into a jar for you. Okay, so you got all of your herbs, right? A lot of times I just roll it. Right? Just gonna, that's it. Crunch them up. Crunch them up. Cayenne is good for blood pressure, strokes, and etc. Thank you, Carrie, for sharing with the community. Yarrow. Beetroot. Oh. All right, so I've now crunched up my my oregano, and go ahead and put it in this jar. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, why am I making all these faces? Like, I noticed that on one of my videos. Like, Lola, why is your face? When you working, why you gotta make that ugly face? Like, it's like, you know, when food is good, you're like, but that's not the face. I look like I'm in turmoil. All right. Hold on. So that's one way to crunch your herbs. And let me just show it to you. That's oregano. Don't that look like oregano from your kitchen? Don't that look like oregano? It's just a little thicker. And it smells amazing. You can put a jar on it, a lid on it, right? On any of your herbs. You can get your little fancy label. I'm just a crafter, is what I do. Sometimes you can buy them at these little labels at Michael's and write on it. Hey, right? Just write on it. Date it so that you know how long you've had it. But remember what I said. So these can last about 18 months, right? That's the standard. Herbs are good for 18 months in a mason jar. That's the standard language, right? But I say they'll probably be good for as long as they smell good and they taste good. If you take them out, you're like, they don't taste like nothing. Okay, it's a little bit beyond, you know, its date, and you might want to consider going ahead and grinding you up some more. Sometimes when they are this size, and if they lose their fragrance, because I've done it with store-bought, I'll just throw them into the bullet, and if that aroma comes back, then I'll use it right away because it still has some good taste, it still has some fragrance, it still has some flavor to it for the food. But I typically I haven't used a whole lot of store-bought. I dehydrate my garlic, I dehydrate my onions in here. That's extra. Yes, we dehydrate them in there. I love rosemary. It got rid of beetles and it stopped the grubs. That's another tip for you gardeners. Carrie is giving the tea tonight. I love when we share in the community. Hey, Lady Moonlight. Hey, Chicago. So those are our 3 methods. So tell me, what method do you prefer the most? Do you prefer the dehydrating method, the oven method, or the air dry method? Tell me, which one do you prefer? Which method is the easiest for you? Now, lavender, don't forget, this is something that you can grow in your garden, something you can grow right in your garden. All these are herbs that you can grow in your garden and dehydrate using one of these 3 methods. You can do the air dry method. Remember, make sure you don't clump a whole bunch of your herbs together, and make sure they're spaced out when you do get ready to dry them, like our ancestors used to keep them like up in the window on Little House on the Prairie. Yes, I'm old enough to have watched Little House on the Prairie and love it. Okay. You can do the oven method, where you put them on a tray with some parchment paper, 1 to 2 hours. Just watch it crack the oven 130 degrees, make sure it doesn't burn. Or you can do the dehydrator method. Make sure they're nice and evenly spaced out, they're not all clumped together. 1 to 2 hours, nice and dry. So which method are we thinking we're going to use, or do we prefer to use? Now, They all taste the same to me. As long as you don't burn them, they're pretty much going to taste the same. I want to say that they don't lose their nutritional value. Sometimes you can cook out the A and the B vitamin of it. That's just from a little bit of study I did. But other than that, they maintain their nutritional value. They will maintain their fragrance for you. Not that herbs have a whole lot of nutritional value as much as they do have a health benefit to us. So you don't have to worry about baking them out unless you burn them. You burn them, then you got some roasted rosemary. I had 3 jars of lavender. I've collected. Wow. So you have so now I'm gonna have to do I'm gonna have to come back and do a how to use your herbs and your flowers. So you challenge me. So you can do a I've never done a tincture, so I'm not even gonna talk about that. So the ways and the method that Lola knows and she's comfortable with telling you is you can either do it in a tea. You can use these in a tea. You can use these, any 3 of these, in a capsule and take them in a vegan capsule. And you can also do an oil. I've done a lavender oil. I've done a rosemary oil, and I've done an oregano oil. Of those 3 oils, the way that I've made them was I put them in a crock pot, let them cook for 48 hours. They're not cooking, they're simmering. They're just simmering and they're cooking down, and the oils are coming out of the herbs, and the oils are coming out of the herbs and getting into the oil. Yeah, that's what's happening. I do use extra virgin olive oil, all right, and I let that begin to cook down, and then let that fragrance get into the oil. Then I put those oils in. I don't have a bottle. I'll bring my bottles next time, okay, when I do an explanation video, okay. I put them in ambered bottles. That's those little brown bottles. And I use the lavender. I rub that into my hands, that lavender oil into my hands, and I take deep breaths, kind of like if you've ever seen it done with essential oils. And so after I steep it for 48 hours, I pour it into a jar through a cheesecloth to make sure you get all those little bits out, because you want it to be clear. So I do that pour twice just to make sure that there's no bits left, and then I put it in the amber jar. So for the lavender, I get that oil, I rub it into my hands, I take deep breaths, okay. Sometimes when I get out the shower, I will rub it into my shoulder and in this area, because it's nice and fragrance is up here. This morning I put it on my ashy feet. Okay. I'm sorry, who tinctures in here? If you all tincture, please let going back to basics. No. So that's what you want to do, what you can do, or what I've done with the lavender oil. The rosemary oil and the oregano oil I use whenever I'm getting sick. I just take a couple of drops, put it underneath my tongue 3 times a day of the oregano and also the olive oil. Remember, oregano oil and rosemary oil. Remember, those are olive oil base. It is edible. It's something that you can eat. Also, the rosemary oil, I use it to cook with. So I pour it into a nice bottle and I cook with it on a daily basis. I can use it in any of my pot roasts, especially my stir fry. I love stir fry. I can eat stir fry every day, okay? So olive oil, I use it to cook with. I don't use lavender oil to cook with, but oregano oil and rosemary oil I can use to cook with. The other thing that you can do is when you have dehydrated your herbs, and you can do this before you dehydrate your herbs, is you can take them, get you an ice cube tray, or you can buy one that's designed specifically for what I'm about to tell you. You get your little tray, right? You pour your carrier oil into your tray, let's say your ice cube tray, right? You pour your carrier oil. I love almond oil. Am I saying that? No. Avocado oil, coconut oil, and olive oil. You can use one of those 3, right? Pour it into, put your herbs into the tray, put your herbs down into the bottom of the tray, and then pour your oils over the top of it. Put it into the freezer. Once that's frozen, crack that tray, pop it, put it into a Ziploc bag, put that thing into the freezer, and take those cubes out for whenever you use it. And if you're going to use an ice tray, just make sure you fill it up halfway, okay? Halfway, because you don't want to take an ice cube out that's that big, right? Unless you need to use all of it, okay? Which tincture in here? That's what I'm doing a lot of. Okay, lavender, flower, or both leaf and flower. So this is just the flower. So for this particular one, the ones that I did is, ooh, Lord have mercy, it was just the purple flower portion. That's a lot of lavender. One year I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Okay, I didn't know I was growing all this lavender. I got excited because someone told me it was a healing component, and I grew a lot. So I still have a lot, and I haven't even put a dent in it. And I'm growing lavender this year. Why am I growing lavender this year? It's just one plant this year. It's just one little plant, one little pot. And so I use fresh lavender now. So when the season is over and fresh lavender is not available, but I still grow it inside during the winter in my aero garden, in my hydroponic system. Lavender is just good to me. It makes me feel good. When it's growing on the counter and I walk into the kitchen, it hits me. It just smells amazing. And it's very calming. It's very relaxing. When you get your massage, they say, do you want a little lavender? Yes, I want a little lavender. I know I just left home with the lavender, but give me a little more lavender. So it is just a flower for the oil. Yes. The bees love it. Bees love it. Okay, so did you all have any other questions? Talk to me. Let me know. So I know I need to come back, and I'm going to do a video to talk about the different uses for it, and also show you all some examples. So I do have some cooking down that I need to do of my to make my rosemary oil. So I'm going to use my rosemary that I dehydrated and make some rosemary oil, because if you put them in a really cute bottle and a label, they make great Christmas gifts. They make great Mother's Day gifts. They really do. You can send your family home Thanksgiving during the gathering, and send everybody home with a little bottle of rosemary oil, and remind them that it's good to take when you feel a sickness coming on, or they can cook with it. That's if they're into that, because everybody not into that. They'd be like, she gave me some rosemary oil. But you know who would like some rosemary oil. You know who would be into it. What are some herbs that are easy to grow for beginners? Kingdom Beauty. So for beginners, I suggest parsley, I suggest basil, and I suggest mint. Those are 3 of the easiest herbs that I would suggest for a beginner. Sometimes thyme can be a little tricky, even though you'll see a whole bunch of it in the store if you were to buy it as a seedling, but those are the ones that I would suggest. Oregano is also my favorite, so let's add that oregano in here. I find those to be easy, very low maintenance. I would stay away from what did the caterpillars just eat? The dill can be distracting for them, for caterpillars. So sometimes I grow dill out of the way because the caterpillars or the moths like to get on it. So yes. So I'm sorry, I'm a container gardener, right? So I grow 95% of my food in containers and not necessarily in ground, because I live in Washington, D.C. and I don't have a whole lot of space. I do have one raised bed that I experiment in, because I hope to have me some land one day. Anybody giving away any land in Virginia? Anybody got a homestead in Virginia want to give me? Okay, I'm just asking just in case. But yes, as that was a great reminder for us, is that when you grow your mint, it has a takeover spirit. Mint and rosemary both have takeover spirits. What I mean by that, they bullies. They will take over wherever you put them. They grow mint as ground cover sometimes. Mint grows through the winter. It's a survivor. It is a thriver. Rosemary is a thriver and a survivor. It will grow through the winter. It will live. You'll look out there, be snow, 6 feet of snow. Snow be gone. Rosemary be like, hello, I'm a survivor. But when you grow mint, lemon balm or mint, there are over 200 varieties of mint. I came to learn. Yeah, over 200 varieties of mint. When you plant mint, just make sure when you have it in a place, If you put it in the ground, in a bed, it belongs to the mint now. Yeah. The mint grows underneath. It will travel underneath the soil and it'll just pop up and you'll be like, hey, how did that mint get over there? Because you planted me in ground. So if there's a possibility I would recommend planting mint in a container where it can be contained and not bully your other plants, because yeah, it will bully your other plants. Hey, Menorah 99, I see your hand. So as a teacher, I teach, and as a teacher, when I work with my students, they're like, okay. I know you're just waving at me, but when they're waving at me or they're raising their hand, I'm like, I see your hand, just to let them know I have not forgotten them and I'm coming back to them. So that's one of my favorite things. So whenever I see a wave, or on my 9 to 5, when I see somebody raise their hand on Teams, I'll be like, I see your hand, and I'll be sure, hey John, I see your hand, just to let them know I'm coming back to them. But that's just a phrase I like to use. But hey, I saw your hand, Menorah. Hey, mint is a track star, a runner and a track star. You have never lied. Survive and thrive, baby. I didn't know when I started. I have an array. Mint bush. Yes. Nobody told me. Yes. They are bullies. They have a complete takeover spirit. Menorah, hey, yeah. Hi, Karen's friend. Karen and I were co-workers, and oh my gosh, she is such pure joy. I love me some Karen. I miss Karen. She done moved to the other side of the world on me, but she is a beautiful spirit and a great joy and a friend to have, to be able to hold on to her. That's a precious friend. Highly recommend. But it's very nice to meet you. And if you're Karen's friend, that means you good peoples. Hi. I'm glad you're here. So I went over the 3 methods whereby which we can dry or dehydrate our herbs. That is the air drying method, where you bundle your herbs together. Make sure you clear off that stem. Make sure you make it, and then you tie it up and you hang it in a cool, dry place, like in your closet, in the basement. I hang these sometimes on the cabinets in the kitchen while they're drying. Okay, just make sure they're not too close together. Make sure your bundles are not too large and too bushy, because they need the air to get in there to dry 1 to 2 weeks, right? Then we did the oven method, where you put your herbs on a baking sheet, parchment paper, put it in the oven at 140 degrees, crack the oven, don't close it, let that moisture get out. And it's also a reminder to come back and check on what's going on in the oven. 1 to 2 hours, you want to start, you make sure you check it. Don't need to flip it, just make sure you're not burning it. Sometimes those in the middle may take a little longer to dry than those on the exterior, right? So just check them to see who's already dry. If the ones on the outside perimeter have already dried, go ahead and take them out and get ready to crunch away. And then the third way is the dehydrator method. You want to make sure that when you lay out your y'all proving me wrong right now, okay? Y'all be Stella, okay? The dehydrator method. This is a Cabela. I use a Cabela 12 tray. There are 12 trays. Come on. What? I use 12 trays. This is a 12 tray holder. I can put 12 trays at one time of herbs in here. And I set this at 110 degrees, 120 degrees. Walk away from it, set it and forget it, but not for real. You come back after and you check your herbs, right? That's the good thing, is that you can walk away from it and go away and do your business. And then once these dry out, then you just crunch them up and you put them into your jar. So those are the 3 methods. Very easy. Depending on, I got this 5 years ago for $200 at Cabela, 12 trays. Not only do I dehydrate my herbs, I do apples, I do bananas, I do strawberries, I do lemons, I do limes, I do jerky, all the things in here, okay? Depending what is good for the closet for odor control. The herb, I think I know what you're asking. Linda, are you asking me how do I make the closet, keep the closet from smelling like the herbs that I'm hanging? I think that's what you're asking me. I'm not sure, but if that's what you're asking me, there is no true control for the herbs to have the odor. Okay, so they're going to smell. They're going to be very aromatic in wherever you put them. I would suggest if you have them in an open space, a great recommendation. If you have these hanging in an open space, like in out in the kitchen, and not in direct sunlight, y'all. These cannot be in direct sunlight. My kitchen does not, where I hang it, does not have direct sunlight. Put an organza bag over it to capture anything that might fall or drop as it begins to dry. You might bump it, and then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, all of my oregano, it's on the counter. You know, get an organza bag and just cover up your herbs while it's hanging. But there's no true way to prevent the aroma that's going to come off of them when they're hanging in the closet. You're going to open up that pantry, it's going to be like, bam, oh, that smells amazing. What herb are you holding? This is oregano. This is my favorite herb, oregano. So after you clip your oregano and you clean it, you want to make sure you get all those extra herbs off of here so it can dry, or you can tie it free of any loose herbs, and they don't get caught up in, you don't get caught up in losing anything. So this is oregano. Closet scent for keeping the fragrance good. Just put it in an organza bag. That's the only recommendation. Is lavender good for the closet? You can hang anything in the closet. You can put any of your herbs in the closet. They're going to be there for 1 to 2 weeks drying. 1 to 2 weeks drying, and then you'll be able to take them out. Hold on one second. So this is, now, I told them earlier, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Don't judge me, because I can be a lazy gardener. I gave you the right way to do it. Sometimes I don't do it the right way. So this is thyme. So I did not clear off all the parts of my thyme up here like I should have, but this dried inside, well, not inside the pantry, but this dried in the kitchen area. And now that it's done, the only thing, it's going to be difficult to keep the fragrance out. It's going to die down over time, and I'm working with time. Y'all praying for me? It's getting late. It's late for me, okay? It's late for me. I'm up at 4 a.m. It's about 7 right now. And then you're just going to crunch up all of your leaves off of this thyme, right? Or any bundle that you have. But the fragrance, I didn't smell it before I started doing this, and it's been drying for 2 weeks in the kitchen. I'm above the counter, and I didn't smell anything. Now I can smell it now that I'm crunching up the herbs. Now remember, I also told you all that even though y'all see that bundle, most of the leaves are off of there, and I have so much of this, so this isn't going to hurt me. So we don't waste anything. We're going to take this, and I'm going to put this in a Ziploc bag, and when I get ready to make my bone broth in a couple of weeks, I'm going to drop this right on in there. It's going to be amazing. The stem and a little bit of thyme that's left on there is going to go right on into the stew. Yeah. I'm a mess. Welcome to my world, okay? So this thyme is nice and crunchy, dehydrated, and I'm shocked at how much of a crunch it is. Dry through and through. 2 weeks sitting in the kitchen drying. You can put this in your closet. You can put it inside of the cupboard. You can put this in the basement if you're worried about it falling apart, and I would be too if somebody bumps into it. If you're worried about the cat getting to it, just cover it up, and because it's exposed, then just cover it up in an organza bag, a little organza baggie, and dehydrate it or hang it wherever you need to hang it. But that's how that becomes this, right? And then eventually we're able to put it into a jar. I'm telling you, easy breezy, beautiful. Cover girl. What would a good herb garden? So I always start with basil, parsley, and excuse me, oregano and a mint. And we just discussed a little while ago, I'm sorry, excuse me one second, to make sure you grow mint in a container because it's a bully. But those are the 4 that I would recommend you start off with. How long do your herbs last? So the answer for that is herbs, dehydrated herbs inside of a mason jar are good for up to 18 months, right? But I say use your herbs for as long as they smell and they taste like herbs, okay? As long as your oregano is still tasting like oregano, use it. If it smells like oregano, if it don't smell like oregano no more, it smell like nothing, it's gone, it's done. But 18 months is the bullet and the standard answer that we would give for how long they take, okay? Thank you. Very good, very good. I'm excited for you. I love this portion. I have been gardening for this is year 13 for me, and I've made a lot of errors, okay? Made a lot of oopsies, okay? And I've learned a lot. I've taken a master gardener class in Louisiana. I've not become an official certified master gardener in the District of Columbia because that course is hard to get into. I got into it right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit. People left. They revamped the program and they made it extremely competitive, and I have not been able to get back into it, but time is gonna come. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but I love teaching other gardeners how to garden. I'm a teacher by nature. I love to teach a person how to fish in a sense. And gardening really saved my life. It gave me a place during the pandemic. I started off cooking, well, gardening, because I wanted to know what was in my food. That was important, to be self-sufficient. And then when the pandemic hit, it gave me a place to hide away. It gave me a place to really find myself and reconnect myself, because I was losing it, baby. I was losing it. So as I began to go about it and learn how to preserve my food and save my food and dehydrate my food during this time, I started taking other people with me. I was like, hey, you need to grow something. I'm gonna need you to get you some mint. I'm gonna need you to get you some rose, throw it in the window. And then people always say, I don't have space. I live in an apartment. I'm like, you don't need a lot of space. Let me show you how you grow in small space. So that's where I started showing people how to grow in small space that didn't have a lot of space, which is why I grow 95% of my food in containers, right? So I showed people how to grow their food right on the porch. I showed people how to grow their food on the sidewalk. I show people how to use a hanging basket to grow your food. I show people how to use a hydroponic system and put it on the counter. If you don't have a whole lot of space, I got you. You may not grow everything, but you're going to grow something messing around with me. You're going to grow something, and you're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to figure out how to take it up to the next level, which is always what happens. It's exciting. It's very nurturing. People who have had black thumbs and said, I can't do this, Lola. Yes, you can. You know what happened? Let me tell you. Talk to me. Tell me what happened. And let's troubleshoot what went on. Okay, you used the wrong soil. Okay. Let's troubleshoot. Tell me what happened, start to finish. Oh, you planted a plant that likes the shade in the sunlight. It don't like the sun. You just put it in the wrong place. So let's get your plant into the right place. Make it happy and healthy. Oh, well, what are you feeding your plant? Tell me what you feed your plant. Oh, you don't give your plant any food? Well, how do you expect your plant to grow, friend? Some plants need food. Some plants just like leave me alone. Like mint don't need anything. It's just buck wild, right? So I had all these people telling me like, Lola, my stuff is dying. Lola, Texas is hot and nothing is growing here. So listen, you just got to grow it in a different season. You just got to grow certain things. And I'm going to tell you, the more you hang with me, you'll find that there are exceptions to every rule, you guys. I'm going to give you best practices, right? I'm going to give you things that have worked for me and some best practices, all right? And some shortcuts and some cheap way, because I don't have a whole lot of money. Okay, I live in DC. I got a lot of money, okay? So I'm going to show you how to, so I show people also how to grow their food in Dollar Tree baskets, using Dollar Tree soil, using Dollar Tree seeds, and it worked for them. But what was important to them was not necessarily where it came from, but where it came from. So I'm just going to give you different techniques and method. And because I'm a crafter, right? Because I'm a crafter, I'm also going to show you how to make it cute. So if you want to have cute trays, if you want to, I took a Folgers canister, plastic canister, and we painted it, and we put some polka dots on it, and we made it pretty. So nobody knew it was a Folgers canister. We used what we had. We used mason jars. We learned so much during the pandemic together. It was a joy, because people begin to find their green thumb and just find, I can grow my own food. And that is the most satisfactory thing that I can imagine, is to see you all growing your food and loving it, and now finding different ways and different things on how to use it. Show us the container. Hold on. Oh, thank you, friend. So that particular container, the Folgers canister, that one is not looking how it should look. Last year in Washington, D.C., I don't know if you all experienced, we had a really bad cold snap come through, and I had my rosemary in it, and my rosemary did not survive -3. -3. I lost my rosemary in that canister. In my 5-gallon, my rosemary survived, but in the smaller Folgers, it did not survive. I lost my rosemary bush last year. I lost a blueberry bush when the cold snap came through. I lost all of my cabbage, my kale, my broccoli, and my cauliflower. When that cold snap came through, it snapped everything. Everything went broken. So that canister does not look the same. But friend, I'm going to repost the video. Let me repost the video. Let me see if I can find the video for you. Hold on, friend. I'm gonna find it. Can you show us some of your containers? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on, friend. Hold on. I'm gonna go to. Let me go on over here to my page. Hold on. I'm gonna show you. Let's see. Okay. So let me show you my. I can't take you out the cradle and walk you outside. Well, I'll tell you what, I can. As soon as I'm done, I'll walk you out there. As soon as I'm done. Okay, I'm gonna walk you out there. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna just go to my page and let me see. That's the front porch. Oh, hold on. Let me just scroll down my page, because I know we did it. We did some decorating together. And I did the polka dot black and white. I don't know if any of you all were here when I did the black and white container. It was during the holidays, and during the holidays, that's what you do. You decorate. You gotta decorate during the holidays. Okay, so that's a black and white container. So where's me decorating it? Come on now. So that's lemon balm. Hold on, I'm trying to find y'all. Ooh, I made some ginger tea with that lemon balm. Okay, Lola. Friend, I'm still looking. I'm looking. Where did we decorate the containers? Okay, I don't see her. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Maybe this is it. Hold on. Okay. This is, okay. All right. So this is a video of me taking Dollar Tree containers, and I painted them black and polka dot. This is me putting some potting soil into it and growing some herbs. These Dollar Tree containers are great for herbs based on their size, but that's just one of the videos I did to show you all that you can grow or decorate any of your containers, because we are crafty. And during the pandemical, we had a little more time than usual. And if you want to garden on the cheap, you don't necessarily have to look like who done it and what. You can do some really cute things, like put some bows on it and and make it pretty. And I like things pretty. I like things cute. And we figured out how in the world we would be able to do it on a budget. So that's what we ended up doing. But I'm going to take you out the cradle. And what is green tea derived from in plants? It all depends on the green tea. So green teas come from different or a variety of plants. It's so interesting is there was a Snapple commercial, and it many moons ago, a Snapple commercial. I don't even watch commercials now. Many moons ago, I didn't realize it was like the tea came from a baby tea leaf. I was like, what? Tea come from? I was like, there's baby tea leaves? I had no idea that there was such a thing as a baby tea leaf. So let me do my thank yous, and then I'm going to take you out of the cradle, and I'm going to take you onto the deck to give you a tour de France of the container garden. The container garden that we have growing outside. Before I go, did you all have any other questions? You asked, is it on your link tree? I'm not sure. I missed a part of that. The only thing on my link tree is a garden class. I don't do the decoration. It's just a basic container gardening class that is in my link tree. And it is for container gardening specifically. It is a replay of a class that I did last year with a cohort of, I want to say 15 students last year. So it does walk you through how to get started, because a lot of people kept asking me, Lola, how do I get started? So I gave you the basic. I gave you the secret sauce, the right composition of soil, which plants like sun, which plants like shade, when to plant them, how to plant them. Different tips and tricks in terms of watering, in terms of feed, what to feed your plants, how to get them to respond. And I think there's a freebie in there. I just can't remember what it is. Charge it to my head and not to my heart. But that's what's in the container gardening class, and it is a video. It does consist of a video, and it does consist of giving you some homework. And you can always ask me any questions when you get it time. Okay. So thank you guys so much for coming and peeking in to learn about how to dehydrate your herbs. This is my closing, y'all. Just trying to get fancy. Okay. Hold on. This is the conclusion of me teaching the 3 methods on how to dehydrate your herbs. The first method was air drying. The second method was in an oven. And the third method was using a dehydrator. So you have options, all right? And I want you to do what's best for you. But most importantly, I want you to grow something, all right? And if you grow in abundance, this is the way. Drying your herbs is a way that you can keep it for years to come. I thank you guys so much for giving me your time, for coming to ask questions, and even sharing in the community. I love when y'all come and share your information. I don't know everything, but I know something, and I share that with you all tonight. But come on, I'm going to take you out the cradle, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you on the porch, and then I'm going to walk you on the back deck, because I grow on the front porch and I grow on the deck, which is probably what you've seen the most of. All right. Okay, friends. Let's take a little yeah, that's my craft room, okay? Now, I live in Washington D.C., all right? So if you hear some fireworks, it's not gunshots. I don't think. If my neighbors say howdy, just say hey, y'all, okay? Okay, let's go out here. All right. Hold on, I'm gonna take y'all down low. Hold on, let us pray that I don't end the live. Okay. I'll give y'all a little tilt. Okay, so over here, these are sorrel. That's a sorrel leaf. It's kind of like a lettuce that I'm going to use in a salad. This is the front porch, y'all. This is a pepper, chives, and basil, all growing in the same container. Same thing is happening over here. Pepper. Got some peppers coming in. And I love this because I'm growing on the front porch and nobody knows nothing. They just think it's a green plant. But baby, I'm sitting up here growing daggone peppers. Talk to me. Some basil. and also some chives. Hey, Mary. Then over here, this is kale. And I'm fighting mosquitoes, y'all. This is kale. Now, that was tulle. So I keep my kale covered to keep the cabbage moth off of my kale. And if you all saw the release of the ladybugs a while ago, the ladybugs came and ate all of the aphids off of the 2 kale bushes that I have left. But I keep them covered so that the cabbage moth can't lay its eggs and grow. This is a $5 tulle netting, $5 tulle curtain from IKEA. You get 2 in a pack for $5. Cover up your greens, okay? Cover up your greens. I love my greens. I don't want to give them away. Hold on. We still going. All right. Tomatoes. I got 2 tomato plants here. Tomato. I got some tomatoes. Gotta watch them. Okay, tomatoes. These are, y'all want to see the containers. They want to see the containers. 5-gallon containers, fabric bags. Over here, I know y'all recognize her. I know y'all recognize what's going on right here. This is mint. Mint growing all down. Look at that. Growing all the way. Look, just bushy. Just take over, spirit. There's 3 trays in each one of these. 3 compartments. And I got 6 compartments all together growing mint. I'm going to harvest all of these probably Saturday or Sunday and put those in a dehydrator and just make one great big old mix. These are different varieties. Like this right here. Hold on, Lola. She want to see it. And this is a vertical container. I got one down here. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. It's a peppermint. A pineapple peppermint. Oh. Can you see the different colors? You can't see the different colors. I'm sorry, I can't zoom in, guys. You're in the cradle. I am doing a companion planting. It helps keep the bugs down. And then up here is lemongrass. Up top is lemongrass. Lemongrass is buck wild. Oh wait, I do have a tilting method. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, don't tilt down, it tilt up. So this is lemongrass. I dehydrate that and I put that in the tea as well. But that's what's growing on my front porch. Now let me take you to the back side and show you what's growing on the deck. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're going back into the house, good people. My face look all big up in here. You can see everything. Glory to God. Okay, hold on, people. We're going. Okay. Hold on 1 second. And y'all saw my big forehead. All right, let's go out here. All right. Okay, so this is basically the deck. So that pineapple and lemon, ooh, that pineapple mint is amazing, right? Let me see if I can bring you on down. So this here is the eggplant. Eggplant is doing good. I got some eggplants here. I got, eggplants all up in here. Hold up. Eggplants all up in here. Oh my gosh. My word, my lantern, heavens of Murgatroyd. So that's eggplant. I have 2 varieties. This one over here is not giving me much, but I'm gonna be patient with it. That second one over there. These are pole beans. My pole beans gonna grow up the pole, right? Pole beans. Back here are the tomatoes. That's what I call tomato and pepperoni. Let me pick you up. Ooh. So let's go. All right, so let's see. You see the tomatoes kind of hanging down already. Tomatoes. I eat out my garden all the time. Don't judge me. Peppers. Whole bunch of peppers. Here's the lavender. Lavender flowers. This is eucalyptus. Oh my gosh. These two next to each other rule the world. All of these are peppers on the second row. I have some sunflowers up top to draw my bees to come and pollinate. In the first white, I have some grapes. Stevia is next to it. And then I have some more grapes. So the two containers that are white that look the same over here and over here are both grapes. Grapevines are growing ridiculous. Peanuts. Peanuts are growing in a fabric bag. Peanuts. Rosemary fabric bag. These are sunflowers, which have not come in yet, but they are mammoth sunflowers. Come on back. I'm trying to do better, y'all. More beans, bush beans. I replanted my rosemary. Not my rosemary. My raspberry bushes are here. I got one in back. It's a jungle back here, y'all. Rosemary bush. I got two different rosemary bushes. They sit next to a composting machine. And, oh my gosh, last but not least, cucumbers are coming up. Herbs, all of those are getting ready to get pulled out because I need to start making room for my beets. We're going to put beets in there for the fall. Flour to draw some of the pollinators. And literally, that's how my container garden is looking these days. Yep, that's how the container garden is looking these days. See, look, I told you, look that. Okay, look at that, see? My skin is still amazing. That's sun though. Okay, so what other questions did you have? Do you grow ground cherries? I don't grow ground cherries. I don't grow ground cherries. No, I don't grow ground cherries. But you said the no, but that mild sweetener taste, the squirrels love that too. What do they love? I planted chocolate tomatoes this year. Ooh, that sounds amazing. I also have some watermelon over there I didn't show you all, and some basil, and I keep cutting back. Y'all, did y'all see me eating bugs the other day? This is celery. I love celery. I do this every day I come out here. Don't judge me, it just tastes so good. This is celery. Thank you. Oh, so the net name is it's a tulle curtain from IKEA. You get 2 in a pack. They're like $5.99. It's a tulle curtain. And then if not, you can Google roll cover. Try Googling roll cover and that should come up for you. But because that was just an inexpensive way, I've been using tulle curtains the most of the time. Y'all see that? Who said I had good skin? I'm coming for you. Show. Okay. So I can tell you, Mary, Marishka Ria. I can tell you the dehydrator that I use. What is in my hair? Now, I didn't even panic, y'all. I didn't even panic that time. Y'all might have seen me going off over here. I just looked. I was like, wait a minute. The dehydrator I use is the Cabela 12 tray. It has served me well over the past 5 years. And I use it for everything. I use it for dehydrating my herbs, making jerky, dehydrate the fruits, the bananas, the strawberries, the apples, the orange slices, the lime slices. I dehydrate all of that, so it has served me really well. That's the Cabela 12 tray. I got it from Cabela, and about 5 years ago it cost me $200. So that's no affiliate. It just really worked well and served us well for all that we do here, because it's not just herbs that we dehydrate so much more, and we hope to do some more as well. You're very welcome. My celery was not cooperating for me, but it grew. You know, that's the thing about gardening, is like one year you will have a bumper crop and it's like, yes, I am the tomato master, and the next year everything get blight and die. Like, it's like, what did I do wrong, right? Absolutely nothing. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Every gardener has this experience, and sometimes things just don't do well, and sometimes it could be the soil, sometimes it could be the plant itself, you know. Sometimes it could be the water. It could be how, if you plant in a seedling, sometimes they don't like their new surroundings, you know. Sometimes it just, disease could get in. You just never know. And as a gardener, that's part of the things that we do, is we do these diagnoses. We check on our plants to see what's going on with them, and sometimes they just don't make it. Like last year, my first 3 years of growing ginger, gangbusters. I grew ginger, ginger grows, you know, the root underground, it just spread for the first 3 years. And then last year it was like, I don't like it here. I don't like you. I don't like the soil. I don't like your water. I don't like any of this. I'm just not going to do anything for you. And baby, you didn't give me any ginger. Very little ginger. Thank you for the 9,000 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Can you do a live dehydrating meat? I can definitely do a jerky. So let me tell you what happens, okay? So for me, things are seasonal, and I can't do everything at one time. This isn't for you. This isn't, but for me, the managing my mental, right? I'm preparing for the fall garden, and at the same time, the fall garden, a lot of the summer stuff is coming out, right? So you're going to see me start canning. So that's the next thing. So meats I'm buying now, and they're going into the freezer. Meat is at a it's cheaper right now, right? So the meats I'm buying is storing up now. Okay, summer sale, meat sales, because they're like, y'all gonna barbecue, you're gonna grill, you're gonna do all these things, we're gonna throw this meat at you, we're gonna make it on the cheap, right? So I'm buying meat and I'm putting it in the freezer. Once I get my fall crops in, around about, it's an end of August, because I know this, when I start canning, it's always hot. Okay, it's like scorching hot outside. The air conditioning is pumping, the pressure canner is going. I'm sweating bullets because I'm canning and just feel like in the wrong season. Okay, so then I'll do in August I'll start canning. I'm gonna start canning my carrots, my potatoes, my string beans. I'm gonna start doing meals in jars. Around about this time, I'm normally doing like jams and salsas, but I'm a little tired. I got a whole nother business. So I wasn't able to do jams and salsas and jellies and preserves and hot sauce. Those are the things that I'll be doing now. But to answer your question, so later in probably October, November is when I'll start doing the dehydrator, doing dehydrating in the meats and making some jerky. That's pretty much what we do. We make jerkies. So we'll do it, then slice the meats, put it in the marinade, put it in the dehydrator, and I love to say this, set it and forget it. You know, the dehydrator is going to do the dehydrating for you. So it's like a no thought process. After you marinate it, you put your slices out on that tray, clean those trays, and you just do round after round. So we are campers and we are hikers. We're tent campers and we are also hikers. So those are things that are great to take with us when we go on a hike. I don't have any jerky to show you right now, and the grandkids have eaten all of the pineapples and the apples. I'm sorry, I can't blame the grandkids. The husband, he loves the pineapples. So most of my dehydrated goods are gone right now, so I can't even show them to you. Good evening. I love peace. I love peace too. I love peace too. So yes, I will do, to answer your question, that's a long way of me saying yes, I will do a live when we get ready to dehydrate the meat, when I get ready to can and do all of my winter canning to my soups. Oh my gosh, I do a lot of soups, ground beefs and soups for the winter, because it's just so easy to grab a jar and dump it into a pot. One of those cold days, just dump it into a pot and have a nice cup of tea, herbal tea, right, and climb up into the bed. So yes, I will definitely go live since I'm back. I'll be here to learn. I'm so glad that you came, and whoever suggested I show you all the garden, thanks for that, because things are popping. It's pretty quiet. Y'all see them cherry tomatoes right there? I'm about to light them up. I'm about to eat them before I go in the house. I am in zone 7A. What zone are you in? I am in zone 7A. I live in Washington, D.C. And for those of you who don't know, I grow 95% of my food in containers. I do have a raised bed down on the ground, because I hope to one day, because that's where I experiment with things, I hope one day to have a piece of land where I can grow in ground. So that's where I've been practicing. Down there I'm growing corn, I am growing squash, and I'm growing pole beans. So it's all about experimenting. It's all about trying new things. The only thing that I don't really have right now, or that I haven't grown, so I only grow foods that I like to eat, okay? The only thing I haven't done is a fruit tree. And I was going to do elderberry tree, because I love elderberry. Is medicinal, right? It's great for the cold season and boosting your immune system. But then there was this little thing called the elderberry bug. I was like, no thank you. Google elderberry bug, baby. I was like, and I'm sure there's a way to get rid of them. I just didn't want the trouble. I didn't want that smoke, okay? I didn't want it. So, but that's the only thing I haven't grown, and it is because if I grow it, I will grow it in a container, but I want to grow it down on the ground, and my deck is kind of elevated, and I don't have a fence, and it would be kind of awkward wherever I put them. I would kind of need to put them on a fence line would be the best approach, because I definitely want to grow a cherry tree. I want to grow an apple tree and a peach tree. All of those still grow well in my area, so I want to be able to grow those, but I plan on growing those in containers as well, because I'm a container gardener. Anything that you grow in ground, you can grow in a container. You just have to have the right size container. That's it. Most people just grow it in the wrong size container. You got to make sure it's grown in the right season, and you got to make sure it's grown in the right soil, okay? You got to make sure that your plant like a lot of water or a little bit of water, you got to keep it on a routine feeding schedule, and you will have great success. So as long while you all are sticking with me, I'm giving you all the nuggets, I'm giving you all the tea. If you need a little extra help, or you're asking a question, Lola, how do I get started, and you don't see the answer on my feed, you can look at the link in my bio, and there is a class that I taught, and it's a replay, and that answers all the questions on how to get started. And it's gonna, if you had a black thumb, it's really going to help you kind of figure out what you did wrong. And I promise you, it's going to be only one of a few things. You either grew the plant in the wrong season at the wrong time, you grew that plant in the wrong soil, and or you put that plant in the wrong saturation, meaning it needed sun and you gave it shade, or you gave it shade and it needed sun. One of those two ways. And when you figure out that, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's the only thing. Yeah. I'm telling you, those are the big things. And then if you grow in a container, you might have grown it in the wrong size container. Let me show you. So no, good example. Like, look at my pepper plants. Hold on, let me get the pepper plant. Pepper plant, show yourself, okay? Look at this pepper plant. Look at this pepper plant. People will put 3 pepper plants in a 5-gallon container. Do you see how big that pepper plant is? All by itself. Its roots it needs room for its roots to grow down. So if you put 2 plants in there, they're gonna fight for space, and their growth, both of their growth is going to get stunted. One of them might grow, but their growth will get stunted. This is one of the common mistakes that we made. We put too many plants. I made these mistakes the first 3 years. We put too many plants in the container space, and it needs room to grow. Look at those tomato plants. 1 tomato plant per 5-gallon bucket. And when I get ready to pull those tomatoes, if I were to take the whole tomato plant out of it and you were to look at the roots and how they begin to grow, you would see that those roots are grown all throughout that soil. How could 2 plants grow and thrive in that one place? Some people will put a tomato and a pepper plant in the same container. Houseway. They're going to fight. They're going to fight. So a lot of times we'll grow too much of something into one container, right? Like, my goodness, look at this. Look at this rosemary. Look how big this rosemary. This is a 5-gallon container. You see, it's taking over. So your plants need room. I think this has been my mistake with my new garden. Overcrowding, yeah. See, and you'll make that mistake and you'll learn from it and you won't do it again. You'll be like, okay, my plants need room to grow. This is the okay, thank you, friend. You did really good. You did really good. Come back. This is the celery. Yeah, I don't know if y'all saw this, but I cut this celery all the way down here. The first cut I did 2 weeks ago. And I don't let it go full. I keep my celery pretty much as baby leaves, if you ask me. And they're very, very skinny. I don't let them grow to maturity. And look, friend, it's coming back. So I take all of these. I'm gonna cut them back again. I'm gonna put them in a dehydrator because these leaves are amazing in a stew. These radiant potato salad. Okay, radiant potato salad. And they just keep coming back. Now, how are you going to grow? Look at this. How are you going to grow 2 celeries in one container? It won't get to its maximum potential if we overcrowd it. So you want to make sure that you don't overcrowd your plants. They need room to grow. They need to flex. They need to flex. They need to fall out. They need to be bushy, okay? They bushy, okay? They bushy. All right? Thank you, celery. You did a good job. Thank you. You can step back. You can step back. Yes, your soil. I talk a lot about that soil. The soil composition is very important too. So that is one of the big things. We grow our plants in the wrong soil. So when you're growing in a container, you have to make sure there's a lot of drainage. So I teach you to use perlite, and I usually teach you to use peat moss inside of your soil, to use potting soil or a potting mix. Don't use garden soil. Those are 2 very different things if you read the bag, okay? If you read the bag and it says garden soil, you think, oh, this is great, I'm growing a garden, right? No. Garden is for the ground, okay? That's for the in-ground growing. Potting mix and potting soil is for containers, okay? It's for your pots. And that means that they just have a lot of good drainage in it. It's going to have peat moss, it's going to have perlite, sometimes it has sand, and it's going to allow your plant to drain. So if you put garden soil, it holds moisture. Too much moisture or holding on to water in these containers will cause your plant, in the best words, to drown. They get too much water, they hold that moisture, and they suffocate and they drown in too much water. So you need to make sure that your containers have good holes on the bottom for drainage, right? And also it's using the right soil composition, because if it's too dense, like our friend Syntastic says, then you'll find that your plants, they'll get stifled and they won't grow well. And you just got to make sure you have that right balance, okay? You're welcome, Kim Marie. See, and this, oh, mosquitoes. This is just one of the small things. I promise you can be like an amazing gardener. People say I have a green thumb. It's because I had a black thumb. It's because I killed everything. Okay, cicadas. It's because I killed everything twice, removed. And I kept trying, and I kept learning, and I kept studying. And so once I figured out the sweet spot, like my plants began to have this, were green, they were healthy, they were lush, they were surviving. And I was like, well, let's add something new. So every year I add something new to the garden that I've never grown before. This year I added the eggplant. I don't even eat eggplant. That's a rule of thumb I broke. You should grow food that you like to eat. Okay, y'all making me sound like I'm in the country. I know I'm in the city. Okay. Cicadas are going wild tonight. But grow what you like to eat. But every year I grow something new. This year it's grapes. This year I'm starting to grow grapes. Grapes are, most fruit trees, fruit bushes, or fruit varieties, they need at a minimum 1 year for their roots to take root. Get a good rooting right before they produce for you. So like your strawberries, when you first plant strawberries, you may not get a whole lot of strawberries, and in fact it's recommended that you take all the flowers off in the first year and don't harvest from strawberries. That's so hard. That's so hard. I know, that's so hard, but that's what it's recommended. So that first year that your strawberries are planted, it gives your roots an opportunity to take root. That's a bad way. Your roots get situated so that they can produce good, strong, hearty fruit in the following season. So your strawberries need to sit for a year before you really harvest them. Same thing with my grape tree over there. It's going to take 2 to 3 years before I get a harvest. So year one, they just over there just getting nestled in, making sure that they're happy, right? And then their roots are going to grow, and they're going to branch out a little bit, but it's not harvest for them. So they need to get situated for some time. You're very welcome, Susan. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much also for tapping that screen. Thank y'all. I appreciate you. Anastasia, I love this too. I love teaching new gardeners. It's good to know that people who are like, I had a black thumb, or they didn't think that they could do it, or they didn't think that they had the space, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can grow something. I may not grow everything, but I can grow something. Let me try. And then my gardener friends, they're saying, oh my gosh, Lola, I started growing in a mason jar. Or, oh my gosh, Lola, I put a pot, and I'll see these little pots. Let me show you my neighbors. Let me finish my thought. I put a little pot out, and I got some tomatoes growing, or I'm growing some. It makes me do a little dance. It's like, I told you could do it. And then you get that bug, and baby, before you know it, you are growing everything. Yes, these cicadas are wow. But let me just show you my neighbors. So I have been growing, this is year 13 for me, right? My neighbors all at the same time decided that they were going to grow something. So I've been giving them like stuff from my garden. I've been sharing it with them, and they've been watching it, and they've been asking questions. Now Ian and Michelle are probably doing the most. Why am I whispering like they can hear me? They're not outside. Ian and Michelle, they are growing more than anybody else. They really got the bug. Ian really likes peppers. So I'm going to show you Ian, I'm going to show you Rick, and then I'm going to show you Vernon. Let me show you. Them cicadas are doing it. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn y'all around so you can see my neighbors. Okay, y'all see Ian and Michelle over there? That's Ian and Michelle. All of those are a different variety of pepper plants. So I've influenced my neighbors, and I love it. Hold on. I'm gonna show you Rick. You see how we don't have any fence? Rick, he got his one little plant, but he's growing peppers. Rick likes to cook, but he likes to grow some peppers. So he got his little self-watering plant out there. So I'm loving that I have an influence. Y'all, that's the sunflower right there, mammoth. And then y'all look at Vernon. Vernon grows indoor plants, but Vernon, now he is growing pepper, tomatoes. He told me he's growing some squash, and I believe that's a banana plant that he brought from the indoors. And then Vernon has the audacity. Y'all see that right up there? Y'all see that up there? He's growing a lemon tree. The audacity. My man is growing and he's growing in containers. Y'all, come on now. Isn't that how my neighbors got the bug because I got the bug. And I want y'all to have the bug and just try it. Try it and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, come back and be like, hey, Lola, girl, my tomatoes all black on the bottom. Why are my tomatoes black on the bottom? Because that's blight, friend. You need some calcium. And we can troubleshoot it and figure out what's going on. But again, if you need that personal, individualized help, I want you to go and you have that question about how do I get started? I want you to look at the link in the bio and take the class, right? Take the class. It's going to answer all of those basic questions. It's going to get you set up in a very strong in a very strong way so that you can be successful. Otherwise, just stick around. You know, no pressure on that. You take it, you take it. You don't. I'm here. This is what we do. This is what we do. It's the heat of Texas, baby. Listen, Miss Anastasia. I'm sorry. I gotta watch my Mr. and Mrs. Anastasia. Listen, y'all burning up over there in Texas. I don't know what's going on. They call it, it's a dome. Like, y'all got a heat dome over y'all. A lot of my Texas gardeners are suffering, and I've been talking to them off and on. And some of them have given up the fight. Some of them have given up the fight, and others are using shade cloths. So if there's any way for you to shade your plants, to give them some shade from that sun, try that. Watch your watering, make sure they're good and watered, and I'm sure you are. And the other option for my Phoenix, I'm gonna say my Phoenix girlies, because I have a couple of Phoenix girlies that are in the desert area, and they just opted to do hydroponic systems instead of gardening outside. And sometimes losing your crop can be devastating, especially when you put a lot of money and invested into it. I understand, but a hydroponic system will definitely help in that arena. But if you do an outdoor hydroponic system, you will likely still need a shade covering. Or if you do an indoor hydroponic system, then that may also be the way to go. You may not be able to grow as much, and this just may not be the year. And if it's not, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Shade cloth, yes. Yes, I am dying for a lemon tree, but I am not ready. Listen, I can't even, so we can grow a lemon tree here. The only thing, because we're growing in containers and because of our climate, we have to bring that tree indoors. So my grape tree won't be able to stay out here during the winter. I bring my grapes and my stevia indoors during the winter. My neighbor's gonna have to bring that lemon tree indoors. So he'll probably leave it either in his kitchen area or in his garage. We've been in the negotiation about it. But the bulb, so there's a bulb, they call it the plant bulb, which is the life cycle, if you will, of that plant. If that bulb dies, the plant dies. So if the bulb won't in the container won't be able to take the cold in our region, and if it does like it did last year, it's going to die. So we need that bulb to survive. So that lemon tree he's going to have to bring in, which is fine. But yeah, shade cloth is a suggestion that I have for those intensely hot areas right now, as well as a hydroponic system. I use AeroGarden. That's just what the first thing that I bought, and that has always worked for me. That's how I grow fresh herbs in the winter time on the counter. That's where I grow my my lavender to keep it just smelling really good. And I tend to grow lemon balm during the winter as well. Lemon balm is very soothing and it smells amazing next to that lavender, honey. Yeah, so I grow those on the counter in the kitchen. Try Amazon. Just look up a shade cloth from Amazon, and you should be able to find you, based on the dimension that you need, a nice covering for it. Yeah. What does your zone have to do with gardening? Giggles and love. What does your zone have to do with gardening? So depending on where you live, your zone is going to tell you what to plant and when to plant. For instance, if you lived in Alaska, you're not going to plant a lemon tree. So knowing your grow zone, if you look on almanac.com and you were to put in your zip code is going to identify the zone that you live in, and it's going to tell you what to plant and when to plant. So it'll tell you in the springtime. I'm sitting up here rocking. I feel like a little old lady, like when I'm in a rocking chair. So in the springtime, it's going to tell you when to plant your seeds outdoors, or when to plant your seedlings outdoors based on where you live. So for me, I live in Washington D.C., which is zone A. So my zone is telling me that in August, well, July is when I want to start my seeds indoors for my fall garden, and I want to plant those in August. Once I plant those seedlings in August, it says I will be able to harvest those through the month of November. So it kind of gives you a calendar. So it also tells me that in September I don't want to plant tomatoes. It's going to say no, don't plant tomatoes. You're going to plant those out of season. So tomatoes need sun. They're not very cold tolerant. So that's what your knowing your zone has to do with it. It's different zones, and you'll see when you look at the map, it'll do kind of like this. And it's interesting how we're some of us that are on the West Coast are in the same zone as the East Coast, but it's just important to know where you fit on the map to determine what to plant and when to plant, the best timing to plant it. Yes. Oh, you're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Anytime, anytime. Guys, this was a great talk. So we started off with dehydrating herbs, all right? And then somehow I showed y'all the 3 methods, right? To air dry it, oven dry it, or use a dehydrator. And then we ended out doing a tour de France of my container garden, which was a joy. But thank you guys so much for checking in, for asking the questions, for all the likes and all the shares and the follows. I appreciate it. So today we did dehydrating. So since I'm working on the fall garden, I need to show you all the seed starting method. I did a live a couple of weeks ago on the seed starting method. I need to come back and show you guys what we're doing there, and then we're going to be growing in our fall garden. Now is the time to prepare for your fall garden. You should be getting ready for your cool variety plants, unless you live in Texas. No, I'm just kidding. If you know you're getting ready, if September, October, November, those are your cool months, depending on what zone you're in, right? To be fair, you want to get ready for your brassicas, you want to get ready for your kale, your collards, your cabbage, your cauliflower, your mustard greens, all of your greens, your beets, your carrots, your garlic. Yeah, we're about to get a whole new garden season. Some beans, some peas. Yes. Do you get fruit flies when growing indoors? I planted tomatoes under my skylight. I do get fruit flies. Fruit flies, gnats. There is let me show you. I get flies out here sometimes by the compost. So here's how I deal with my fruit flies. Oof. Get one of these. Go on, Mr. Fly. Get you one of these. I'm not going to show you the other side. The other side is full. Y'all want to see the other side? It's full of gnats. She said blow those things the way they said it. The other side is full of gnats. This sits right by the compost because the compost bin that I have on the deck is very frustrating. So I get the gnats by getting a little yellow sticky trap. This is a Google yellow sticky gnat trap. This is what I use because it sits right by the compost, and gnats they fly all around, and I'm hoping to put that on the ground real soon. I can't talk about compost, Gigi. I can't talk about compost because I need help. That's my oh, look, you gave me a heart on my head. What the what? So I'm not good at compost. I suck at compost. I need to figure it out, but I haven't figured it out yet. So I have 2 posts that I'm going to make over the next couple of days. The first post is going to be what type of herbs or food are we growing and eating to help balance our hormones? That's going to be my first question because I don't know the answer to that, and I need to know. Menopause is rocking me, okay? Rocking my soul. And then the second question I want to know about is how to compost, because this compost has been churning for 4 years, and baby, it's not giving. It's not giving, and I need it to give. So I'm going to put the compost bin down on the ground to make more space up here for my plants, of course, right? But I'm not the expert, and I don't have the answer for that. I apologize. I hope to learn and grow with you in that area, and as I get better at it, I will definitely come back and let you know Oh, all the berry and all the fermented food. Yes, let me tell you something. Okay, a bug zapper inside is a great idea. I did hear about that. So I use the yellow stickies, and I use make sure the soil dries out on the top, and I water from the bottom. I try not to let the water sit on the top of the plant, and I put a little cinnamon on the soil, and that has helped with the gnats and the fruit flies indoors. So the bug zapper, I like that idea. I've heard about that one. I like that idea. Get them. So with the compost, yes, I've done cardboard, I've done shredded paper, I've done straw, I have done worms. I've added worms. I've purchased worms and added them. I have gone down under the deck, flipped over things and gotten red fat worms and put them in the compost. I've done these things. I thought I did a good of the browns and the greens and the moisture. I thought I had a good balance, but apparently I don't. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm going to seek out help. So I'm going to ask those questions. So if you know the sweet spot, or if you know, do you know any amazing composters? Can you tag them? Can you tag me in one of their posts and be like, hey, container gardener, this Lola, this is for you. I would love to learn that so I can get better, because compost is, we have all this natural organic matter, right? All this food, all the plants that I snip and clip. I just snip and clip all of my branches right now, and I put them in the same place. I want to compost. I'm just not good at it, and I hate that I'm not good at it. But this is going to be another one of the testimonies. I'll be able to come back. I'm like, oh my God, guys, I got it. Let me tell you what to do as soon as I figure out what I'm doing wrong. I learned how on here. I appreciate you so much, Rocket. Thank you so much for remembering Lola. I appreciate you so much for sharing that with me. But when I get it, y'all gonna get it. I'm telling y'all right now, when I get it, I'm like, it's time to go live. We need to tell the people how to compost. Or maybe I need to have someone connect with someone and be like, hey, come over and talk with us. Maybe we can do a joint effort. Come and talk with us so that we can learn. You know, I mean, I have an audience. Y'all are interested, right? So if I told you all, you know, hey, I'm going to tag team with such and such, and we are going to do a live and talk about how to compost, I think that you all would show up just like you did with the dehydrating your herbs. Do you try using PVC pipe drilled with holes to help air at the bottom of the pile? Hold on, I'm my brain just went, huh? I'm trying to visualize it as you say it. So I have a spinning tumbler. I have a spinning tumbler. So I don't have no. So to answer your question, no, there's no PVC pipe drilled with holes to help air at the bottom. I have a tumbler, and that might also be the problem too, just from the little bit that I saw. Now granted, I have not done extensive research. I have not even asked a question, which is why I want to start the conversation to kind of help me figure out what I'm doing wrong. I can't really compost in ground because I don't have the space for it down there. When I showed you all my neighbors that are growing in containers, only one of my neighbors has a fence. The rest of this is pretty open, concerned about children being children, which is why I container garden too. Concerned about animals, dogs and cats, because they run openly, because that's how the people roll around here. That's okay. No, thank you. What's that say? The Black Master Chef. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for even considering to help a girl out. But I do want to learn how to do it. I just don't got it yet. But when I get it, y'all gonna get it too. Okay, we're gonna have a conversation, a conversation. So I am going to. So I already did my closing, and I already said thank y'all, and I already reviewed the 3 methods of dehydrating. I need to snip and clip this and do a highlight reel so we can come back. And I can, for those of you who have missed the dehydrating methods, there's 3 methods. We can use air drying, tie them up with a string, hang them in a cool, dark place. We can do the oven method, where we lay them out on the tray with some parchment paper, put them in the oven, 130 degrees, crack the oven 1 to 2 hours. They should be dry. watch them so that they don't burn and you lose your good herbs, okay? And then number 3 was the dehydrator. I use a Cabela 12 tray dehydrating method where you can put 12 trays in there and dehydrate them at 130, 120 for 1 to 2 hours. Set it and forget it. Those are the 3 ways. You have options. If you don't want to buy an expensive machine, or you don't want to spend any extra money, tie them jokers up, hang them in the closet, put a little gonza bag around them. Just make sure there's the ability to dry. They need to have air. Don't get them so compact. Make sure you just hang a little bit at a time together, okay? Me too. I can't wait to see what I find out either. This is going to be amazing, and composting can only help your garden, right? Right now I throw my eggshells and my coffee grinds into my soil every now and then. I've also planted a daggone banana peel in one of these composts at one time. Hey Southwest. Hey Southwest, what you doing? What you doing over there? Well, Tina Nicole, what you doing over there? Huh? What you doing? Southwest, Southeast, Southwest, Southeast. Hey. The tumbler is a problem. Go directly into the ground. I wish I could. It's not really an option, and it probably will help my clay soil too. I got some clay soil around here. I don't know how we have this red clay soil after they dug up this development. How could y'all still have red clay soil? Why is it not black and lush? Such is life. Okay. Again, thank you guys so much for showing up, for the likes and the follows. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so happy that we can grow together. If you're not growing anything, I want you to grow something. If you have a black thumb, we need to turn it to a green thumb. We just got to figure out what it is that you need. I'm not going to say what you're doing wrong, but so what it is that you need to make sure that you have a happy, healthy garden. It's just something that we need to figure out how to make it better for you. That's not a bad idea, Rocket. That's not a bad idea. But that's kind of what the tumbler is doing, right? It's kind of the same effect. All of my garden scraps go into a pile right now. And then I dump them all into one place at the end of the year. As long as they don't have any disease or sickness. But the food scraps pretty much go into the composter along with the cardboard, the paper, napkins, sometimes I do some sticks, but my sticks aren't normally dry enough to go in it. I'd use Hayes for straw, some straw. Hayes for horse and straw is for us. So to try and get it to warm up, I think that's what's wrong. It's not getting heated to break down. I've added the worms. At one point I did some compost starter mix. We're gonna figure it out. That's what we do around here. But guys, thank y'all so much for showing up, for giving me the hearts, the gifts, asking the questions. Now I know which direction to go next. Next we will see we'll get ready for our fall garden, what we're going to plant based on your zones. If you don't know what grow zone you're in, make sure you go to farmersalmanac.com. If you need step-by-steps, it's one of the pin posts in my feed. And then we'll also, y'all wanted to know what other things you can do with the herbs. So I'm going to dried herbs. So I'm going to come back and show you the different oil techniques that we can make, the different it's pretty much all oil techniques, because I can't teach you tinctures because I don't know tinctures. So I'll just show you the different oil techniques that we can use to make some oils with the dried herbs, and mixing up some of the spices. Thank you so much. The garden is doing really, really good. That's my celery. Celery, say hey. Hey Bob. Y'all have an amazing night. I'm going to sign off and go get me some chamomile and lavender tea, because baby, they got the butter from the duck one at 9 to 5. Baby, they worked your girl. They worked me, and I gotta go back tomorrow and do it again. So I'm gonna give me some chamomile lavender tea and take my hind parts to bed. So y'all have a great evening. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful that you all were here. Have a good night.